Chapter 43, The Angelica Touch. Drisogue has come to life like a blushing bridegroom. Every building fronting the main street is the colour of gelato. The flowerbeds throughout town and around the new Welcome to Drisogue, population 5,602, signs at both entrances are fluorescent with colour. The fountain at the entrance to Main Street is even working again. Denise's mum, as school principal, made us all pinky promise at General Assembly not to add washing up liquid until the festival is over. Already for the launch of the 7 days to go countdown, there's bunting up all over the square and along Main Street, while Guppy is in all her finery, ready to cut the ribbon to officially open our new tourist information and ticket office. Apart from the painting of pigs on the tiles above the main desk, you'd never know it had been a butcher's. Everyone has gathered to witness the event from far and near. There are photographers, local newspapers, even a city councillor from Letterkenny, whose picture I've seen in the papers, claiming he will rejuvenate the whole region. Oni's film crew friends are due on Monday, so they can interview us all before and after the festival. And Oni is planning a special Finnish feast, which means lots of fish dishes and sweet pastries that he's testing on Simon and Guppy. "It's as I always imagined Drisogue would be," says Guppy, "slightly brighter in colour." There's a ripple of laughter through the crowd, but warm and welcoming, like a picture postcard. Mum gives the signal, the banner is unfurled above the street, and Guppy cuts the ribbon. Speech. This is crisp, but it spreads until Mum has no choice. "In 7 days' time," she says, with the happiest voice imaginable, "as the sun comes out, Drisogue will be at the centre of the world." The councillor tries to hug the reporter from the Advertiser, but Dylan's uncle clued him in, so he knows Mum, Guppy and Chris are the people he needs to talk to. Strange to think that this festival germinated in a barn less than 2 months ago. I head through the crowd to Dylan. "Hey you," he says. "Hey yourself." He wraps an arm around my waist, which is just the coolest feeling, like coming home when everything has gone wrong in school for the longest day, and your mum hands you a hot chocolate with marshmallows and a plate of spicy wedges as an appetizer to your favourite meal. I'm exhausted. What with trying to create a love life for Mum, manage school, the festival stuff, homework, and trying to make sure nothing goes wrong, even if it will. So for one delicious double chocolate chip cookie moment, I don't give a damn about anything or anyone. All that matters is the here and now of having Dylan's arm around me, even as we both pretend to pay the utmost attention to what Mum is saying. But then I see the wording on the banner start to dance and sway. A new inscription appears. "Rick, aka fictitious boyfriend, born February 2010, died, ? I pull away from Dylan, stone. It's not my fault I want Mum to be happy. Why can't anyone understand? Dylan's miffed when I won't let him replace his arm. "What's wrong?" he says. I can't answer him. Too busy blinking. But the image won't fade. Instead, the words reform into "Molly's heart, awoke in February 2010, died April 2010. She's practically engaged, he says. I close my eyes for the longest moment, willing the words on the banner to be banished harshly back into a deep oblivion fog where such Dickensian things belong. "You wouldn't understand," I say, moving away. "Sorry, I've got to go." "I've hardly had a chance to talk to you for weeks," he says. "What, since you told everyone about Mum? You forgave me." "Yeah, well, I have to help Mum. And he's only a cyber boyfriend, so he hardly counts. Seems pretty real to her," says Dylan. "That's not my fault." Okay, calm down. He never said it was. This is about me and my mum, not me and Dylan. "Are you breaking up with me?" he says. "Of course not. Anyway, we'd have to be going out together to break up. I thought we were, sort of," he says in a quiet voice. "We will. I just, not right now." I squeeze his hand so he knows I want this more than anything. But it doesn't work as a "let's slow this down" technique because neither of us wants to let go. A whoop goes up through the crowd as Mum's speech ends, and I pull away. "You'll jinx it." "You mean I'm your genie?" Oh, corny. He looks embarrassed too. I have to save him with a crooked grin. "Yeah, you are. Okay, now I'm corny, but it's okay. Everyone's too buzzy to hear us." "We'll be okay for the ball," he says. I cross my fingers behind my back. Absolutely. A single magpie glares at me from a nearby lamppost. I match her look, telling her to go fetch worms for her man and let me worry about my own, before I weave through the crowd. Mum is the centre of attention from more men than this town has ever held, and seems only amused by it. I try to ignore the knot in my tummy that tells me this is all going wrong, by pretending it's pizza pangs. "A week to the festival," says Grace, landing up beside me with a softer thump than usual. 9 sleeps to the ball. What happens then? Insert on embarrassment and why parents enjoy inflicting it. There is nothing you can do to protect yourself from a parent embarrassing you. The more you react, the more hilarious it becomes for them. Mum says it is the only free pleasure parents have that will last their entire lives. Oh, you can pretend to ignore them, but they'll find something to say that is perfectly aimed at the underbelly of your apparent indifference, like they'll tuck your shirt in, try to brush your hair with their fingers, or use your baby name in public. Besides, ignoring them is no deterrent. They know how hard you're trying, so instead of feeling pity, it simply spurs them to continue their work until you crack. The only effective defence is not to care, to laugh back with them and pretend it hasn't worked. This is next to almost impossible. I follow Mum into the new information office. The council looks nice, I say. Looks nice? The man is dancing around the journo like a gerbil on a treadmill. What was that, Angel? She says. Okay. I made a bad first choice. He's far too self-interested. I have moments to fix it up before someone comes in looking for her about something. It doesn't matter with whom, not right now, as long as she stops fixating on Rick. Louis, the guy from the county council, or Marcus. Grace says Kitty's finished with him now. Okay, poor choice of words, but I'm thinking on my feet and I still have the imprint of Dylan's arm around my waist. You can persuade him to get a haircut, and he's a film producer, so that has to count. Are you trying to fix me up? Yep. Mum's not the fastest in the slot today. What? Me? She shakes her head as if I amuse her. Sweetheart, I love what you're trying to do. You do? Not wanting me to be the odd one out, the only one without a partner for the ball? Oh, that. She doesn't know the half. But I'm seeing someone, remember. No, you can't say that. That's like crazy, I say. Mum is so obtuse sometimes. Seriously, Mum, you can't say you're seeing someone if you haven't met. Has he even sent you a photograph? She shrugs and grins. We agreed to wait. Okay, so I knew that. That was my idea as Rick, not to swap photos, mainly because I hadn't one, not being real. This is going so very wrong. Mum, people say that when they're engaged. She just keeps grinning. It's infuriating. Seriously, you can't tie yourself down to someone you haven't met when there's so many other men out there. And here. I wave over to Louis through the window. He gets such a shock at me waving that he manages to fall over his own briefcase and land in the arms of Kathy's mum. My guess? He has a lost daughter somewhere and is now terrified it might be me. What if you don't like Rick when you meet? If he's really smelly or leaves the toilet seat up or speaks disparagingly about whales or me or children in general and especially me, or turns out to be a woman or a girl, or I mean a woman who acts like a girl and has a silly high-pitched laugh. What are you on about, she says. What if he doesn't live up to, if he's not as substantial, she says. Yeah. Well, we'll soon find out. Uh-oh, this is going to be bad. I've asked him to the ball. Mum sees my face and instantly reverts to being Mum again. Are you worried? No, I say, of course not. Oh, Angel, I shouldn't have told you, but you're not to worry. When this man comes into my life, if this man comes into my life, I'm going to take it really slow. We'll still have our special nights together. Big deal. Fortunately, this is a mutter rather than the roar it feels in my head. What was that? She says. Big, real, radical, great. But seriously, Mum, what if he's even worse than the men you've already met? How do you know he won't be a huge disappointment? And then you've wasted all this time. Instinct, says Mum. Grace bounces in then. In time to hear Mum say, I have a connection with Rick. I know it must sound mad to you both, but I feel I've known this man for years. Grace, can you explain to my daughter that she needs to trust me on this one? Grace says nothing. Nothing at all. Mum takes this as a yes. Several people come in looking for her to come outside for photographs. There's a hug and a kiss on my forehead, patronising, and she's gone. Grace grabs my arm and pulls me back. Of course she feels she's known you for like 14 years. Shh. We race to the cafe to see what Mum has said in her invitation to Rick. Grace covers my back while I log on. What are you going to say back? I'll say he's thinking about it. Grace explodes. Thinking about it? He doesn't exist. Not for you, I say. Not for anyone. You made him up. But he wouldn't just say no like that. He's special, he's kind, he's thoughtful. He's her daughter, says Grace. Yeah, there's that. It's kind of a big that too. Without a cherry on top or chocolate sprinkles or anything else. It might even be without ice cream. To be continued.